With ADHD and working memory challenges and executive functioning challenges, it can feel like it's impossible to learn, and this can cause stress, either stress that you're not able to learn or stress that so before the learning and then after the learning there can be stress. You can have stress like, oh no, I won't be able to remember this or learn this before you start the learning, and then after the learning it's like, what if I forget this? Especially if you're studying for school, for an exam of any kind, driving test. And this learning is like physical, kinesthetic learning, visual learning, auditory learning, and motor experiential learning, which is not directly kinetic. And I help with learning. You have lots of different ways to approach learning that is not stressful directly. And I talk about this a bit because with learning languages, for me, I really enjoy it. It becomes really stressful to be able to, mostly spoken. I'm really good with the written, the visual, auditory, listening and understanding, comprehension side of it. It's the spoken because I have mobility, like dyspraxic mobility, difficulties forming the right words and pronunciation, and being able to on the spot bring up from visual to auditory what it is that I want to say. And I find it really difficult to get into, I speak more than one language, but I think it's normal to have a difficult time transitioning between one language and another. For me, it's more so because I find that the stress or the anxiety of like that moment before I know what it is that I want to say, and then somebody's like there looking at you, waiting for you to speak, impacts the learning more than the actual speaking. And so there are ways to do it effectively, and there are many ways. I say many ways. The majority of them do, have the foundation of looking at diet, health and nutrition and environment, lifestyle based. A lot of them does start with that first, because that then allows a strong foundation to put any other skill that you learning to learn on top of that, to be able to measure and achieve like a certain level of mastery over what it is that you're learning. So there's a really good book, The Science of Self-Learning, I think is the name. I will look up the exact title and the author and put it in the description, and it talks about autodidactics, the people who can teach themselves. And I will also give some examples, and I have given some examples in the past of ways to handle stress, long-term and short-term and medium-term, so that we're able to learn in a way that's really efficient, the best way possible for us, or better way possible for us, and how to find that. So for me, for example, I'd mentioned that doing the carnivore diet had really helped with my ADHD, and definitely my working memory. It helped a lot with my working memory. Like, I was actually present in a room. I wasn't flitting off, depersonalized and detached from my body. And my executive functioning was much better. I felt like I just had more space in my brain. Migraine headaches being gone, and that relates to other neurodivergent challenges, or just other health or physical challenges in general. So the main point now at this point is just being aware that stress can affect your learning, and there are things you can do to regulate that stress. Add it to your de-stress toolkit, and be able to be like, instead of going, it's impossible, whatever it is, work, school, it's impossible to learn this. You can be like, challenge challenge accepted, and actually enjoy the process rather than focusing on an outcome that is basically designing yourself. You're designing a system, a closed system that will fail. You kind of open up that system to different ways for success to be measured, and those metrics are outlined at the start, so then you can say, okay, like, even though with this, say you're studying for writing an essay, you're able to measure, here's what I learned, here's what I thought I would learn, and how my experience has differed from what I expected it to. So I'll leave it there, and I hope that if you've ever found school stressful, I do recommend an environment that is optimal and positive for your neurodivergent needs and abilities and skills, and you're able to take something away either from this talk or ask me some questions if there's anything you want to hear more about related to stress and learning. This is a topic I'll be covering more because I am actively working on this only for myself, for my clients, and asking questions. So as answers come, I'll share them with you. Thank you so much. Best, and de-stress.